All right, what's up, everyone? This is a new episode of Sports Harder. We're coming at you live on video and on Anchor or wherever you listen to us. We're excited for this special Saturday morning episode of Sports Harder. I am your host, as always, Maddie Lukewarm Ice, and my co-host for this Saturday morning episode is Chris the Gorilla Binder.
What's up, guys?
How's it going, man?
It was a fun day yesterday, but it's kind of why we're postponing the recording a little bit. But yeah, we're doing good.
All right, good to hear. Yeah, that's one good thing is we're flexible about when we do the episodes and when we record and stuff like that. Um, we're not big shots enough to have a set time or we get in trouble type of thing like they do on like ESPN or Fox
Yeah,
or something like that. If they didn't do it, they would get in big trouble. But I think we're okay. So. Oh man, so let's start off with what's going down. Which the most recent thing was Thursday night football and the World Series. So we'll kind of cover both of those things. We had. Let's start off with the World Series. We had Game 3 last night. The Dodgers end up winning 6-2 against the Tampa Bay Rays. Now the Dodgers are up in the series 2-1. We haven't really had a chance to talk about the World Series matchup yet. They're playing the games so quickly because of the COVID situation, because they don't have to travel. There's no travel time. So they're able to play games like back to back. Like, for the championship series, they played potentially, and it ended up working out that way. They played 7 games straight. Every single day for 7 days, they play games
yeah,
in that series. So the Dodgers end up advancing. We had already mentioned the Rays, I think, last time on the last podcast advancing because they had already gotten that taken care of. So first, we'll start off with talking about this series, and then we'll talk about the Dodgers Atlanta because I think there's some unique things to talk about with that. But how do you feel about Dodgers Rays right now, World Series?
honestly, once the Dodgers made it, I quit watching. So I don't like the Dodgers. Never have, never will. They're the National League Yankees. So
They
um,
World Series 3 out of the past 4 years now, but they haven't been able to win one yet. Is this going to be the Buffalo Bills of Major League Baseball?
could be, absolutely could be. The Rays could give them a run for their money. I mean, they're up 2-1 now. Um, if their bats get going, man, they're scary. They really are. Like they have so much power from 1 through 9 that it's ridiculous. Any one of those guys, 1 through 9, can hit a home run consistently. So the Rays have a lot on their plate to kind of fight for. Um, I don't think the Rays get it done. Honestly, I think the Dodgers actually do win this one.
They finally get over that hump. All right.
Yeah,
I actually agree with you. I don't think the Rays have enough to be able to get past the Dodgers. I think the way that this year was set up and how they played the games because of COVID is kind of perfect for the Dodgers because they can't get into their own heads because there's not really any downtime. They just keep on playing consistently and they just move on to the next game. They don't have that time to be like, well, what if we did this or what if we did that or blah 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 blah. And interestingly enough, for the Dodgers, Kershaw and Betts together combined pay is 26 million. Do you know the combined pay of the whole, all of the Tampa Bay Rays?
isn't it like 32 million or something like that?
It's 26 million as well.
Oh, really? Wow.
So the whole team of the Tampa Bay Rays is 26 million in pay. The Dodgers have 2 players that combine to that much for their pay. Like that's nuts. And that kind of shows that the Rays don't really have any superstars on their team, but they've been playing as a team. Kind of like last year when the Nationals had, a couple stars, but they really were a team as well. They weren't like the Astros, where the Astros had these top names, when it comes to that. So I think a lot of people are rooting for Tampa because they're underdogs. They don't have any big names. I just don't think that they can get past the Dodgers. I'm sure they'll make it a series because their pitching has been doing pretty well. But I think I agree with you. The Dodgers will take it. I think they'll probably take it in 6 games. I don't think it'll go 7.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to mention before, because I thought this was pretty funny, we haven't been able to talk about it. So the Dodgers were down against the Atlanta Braves 3-0, I'm pretty sure. I don't think it was
3-1.
Was it
3-1? Yeah.
Okay, 3-1, and then the Dodgers come back and win the rest of the games to win the series against the Atlanta Braves. Is the city of Atlanta cursed as Choke City? The Falcons, the Braves, like how many other teams, the Hawks, like how many of their teams are gonna like go somewhere and choke in the playoffs? Like the Atlanta Falcons choke in the Super Bowl. It was done. It was over. Everyone thought the Atlanta Braves had the Dodgers. It was 3-1. Everyone's like, yeah, it's over. They aren't able to make a comeback. So are we allowed, patent pending, Sam, to call the city of Atlanta Choke City? Is that their new name now? We need to change it from Atlanta to Choke City.
I mean, we've been calling Atlanta Choke City since the Falcons lost to the Cowboys. So, yeah, I'm saying that we've started calling it Choke City. Atlanta is Choke City. Like, they should have won. By all intents and purposes, they should have beat the Dodgers. Like, they were on a roll. They were on a high. Like, they won the first game. They lost the second game. Like, they lost the second game bad. I think it was like 15 or 16 to 2 or 3. Like, it was bad. And then the next game they come back and they win like 6-3, and then they win 15-3 or 15-5 or something like that. That they were on a roll. They were tearing it up, and then they just died off. Like, well, where did that go? Yeah, Choke City, Atlanta, Choke City.
It's a lock. Choke City. Alrighty. That's too funny. I love that. Alrighty, so now we'll go on to NFL with what happened with the Thursday night game, the scintillating Eagles and Giants, who, ironically enough, was still trying to play for contention for first place in the division, with both of them only having 1 win.
Yeah. The Eagles actually, because of that game, they are in first place.
Well, yeah, that's what I was going to say. So with the Eagles winning that game by 1 point, 21-22, the Eagles now are officially in first place in the division with a 2-4-1 record.
They're ahead of the Cowboys, who are 2-5. Oh,
this.
That whole division sucks.
Like, I feel like someone is gonna win that division with like 6 wins. I feel like.
Well, at the beginning of the year, we both said that whoever wins that division will have a losing record. It'll probably be like a 7-9. I don't think it'll go 6-10. I think it'll be a 7-9 record, but
okay.
6-10 is bad. Like,
the big thing that'll determine it is when the Eagles and the Cowboys actually play each other, because they have to play each other twice. So I think that's going to be a big determining factor on who ends up winning the division, to be honest. I think that's probably going to be the only thing that actually determines who wins it. I don't think many of their other games will really matter, when it comes to that. And the funny part is they're close games. Like when the Giants beat the Washington football team, they won by 1 point. I think it was like 19-20. And now this game, 21-22, like they're close games, which is weird. And the Eagles were actually down by I think 11 points, and Carson Wentz helped lead two touchdown drives to have them come back and win. And the one was like a great pass to his running back, Boston Scott. It was over the shoulder, perfect pass to him into the end zone for the win. And I think there was only like 40 seconds left on the clock when they got that go ahead touchdown. So
when they go for two and miss it. I will say the funniest part of that entire game was Danny Dimes on that quarterback draw. Like he rolled out, took off running, and I mean 65 yards, but he had nothing but green grass in front of him. Nobody was coming up on him. Like he was clear. He was running in the clear, tripped over his own feet and fell. He's just running. All of a sudden, like he just rolls. I'm like, what happened, dude? Like there was nobody coming up on you. Like you were clear for the touchdown. And one of my buddies, we were watching the game while we were bowling. One of the guys I bowl with, he goes, "Well, that just proves that the NFL's fixed."
He's like, wait! I gotta do something before I score. Whoops! Like,
it was hilarious to watch.
Oh my gosh, that's too funny. All right, well, let's talk about some NFL news. What's been going down? A lot of different things have been happening. We'll start with the most recent thing, which Antonio Brown making a comeback to the NFL follows his what do you want to call his girlfriend Tom Brady to Tampa Bay because as we know he did try to play with the Patriots, and that didn't work out with Tom Brady. And so now he follows Tom Brady over with the Tampa Bay Bucks. We got a couple comments. Luckily, both of them were from our wives, so they're looking out for us, trying to make some comments here for us. So your wife, Jeanette, said maybe at least one more to tell him when it's fourth down. So he has another teammate to like look over at him and be like, Tom. So that's another thing. And then good old Melanie the Felony said, "This is crazy. I think he should just be done. He is such an attention seeker. However, it is not surprising. He wanted to play with Brady when he went to the Patriots, but that didn't work for him. Hopefully, he won't mess it up again if he gets the chance." So what do you think? Is he gonna mess it up again, or is this like his redeeming time to come into the league, to swoop on in?
If he keeps his mouth shut, he'll be fine. What's funny is that I remember you actually calling this at the beginning of the year before the season even started. You said, what do you want to bet Antonio Brown if he comes back, he ends up with the Bucks? You called it, man. I mean, you had a little bit of a scare there. He almost went to Seattle. Like they were working out the deal in Seattle, and you were like, no. I was like, well, on the bright side, he could tear that entire wide receiver room apart from the inside. Having DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, freaking Josh Gordon. Like, they're just stupid good. And then add Antonio Brown, like, ugh. No, I think as long as he keeps his mouth shut and plays the game, he actually follows Tom Brady's lead, because Brady's really big about that. He's like, dude, don't showboat, just shut up, play the game. Let's play the game. He's always been like that. That's one thing that I respected about Brady is he's never been that showboat guy. He's intense and he has the passion for the game, but he keeps his teammates in check. He's a true leader of the team and everything. And I think he could be good for Antonio Brown as long as Antonio Brown doesn't get it his own way.
Yeah. I think I said at the beginning of the year too that I feel like the Bucs are they're pulling a Rams when the Rams went to the Super Bowl by getting all of these superstars and kind of just putting them together and being like, hey, Super Bowl or bust. So I feel like the Bucs are saying Super Bowl or bust. Tom Brady is getting old. Like we need it now type of thing. And ironically enough, I feel like Antonio Brown and Mike Evans have the same personality. Like Mike Evans is very in your face, at least on the field. He's very in your face, talking trash. Like, he wants the ball. He thinks he's the best. So, like, if both of them are playing off of each other and, like, they're both, like, back and forth, I feel like that could be good for Mike Evans as well because he's going to have someone else that has the same personality as him on the field. But we'll see if it can translate into gelling. I mean, when Antonio Brown was with the Patriots, I think Tom Brady threw one touchdown pass to him, and I think that was in a preseason game. So, we don't know what connection Tom Brady and Antonio Brown will have. I can tell you this. Someone has already picked up Antonio Brown on our fantasy football league.
You?
He picked him up.
Was it you?
It was not me. I tried.
Okay.
But I can't remember who it was. But yeah, someone's already picked him up. So people are already thinking this is going to be a good thing. I don't know how long it will take for him to actually be able to start playing. I know, obviously, he can't play this week. That's too much of a short notice. But we'll see how long before he'll actually be able to start playing. Because wasn't he like suspended by the league as well? Doesn't he have to serve like a certain amount of games to be out?
I think it's 21 days, so 3 weeks. I don't know for sure though. I think they have to have so much practice in before they're allowed to hit the field.
Oh, okay. So.
Oh, and it's another 10 years. Plus, he's actually suspended. So yeah.
Oh, another 10 years. So yeah, my friend Andrew, who's a big Ravens fan.
That's who I'm playing this week.
Hey, that'll be a tough matchup for you because Andrew usually is either in the semifinals or the finals almost every year for my league. He's pretty good at fantasy football, so that'll be a tough matchup for you this week. I finally got
a good team.
Since we're talking about fantasy football, I finally got my first L last week. So I'm tied with Boo Boo, and Boo Boo decided to rub that in my face that he's now tied with me at 5-1. And he says that he has a better record because he has more fantasy points. But that was when he had Dak, and Dak was putting up all those crazy numbers. But Dak is out now, so we'll see how much fantasy points he can start getting with not having Dak Prescott anymore.
Yeah, I got my second loss too, so I got beat down. But yeah, most of my team was on a bye, so I was like, well, this sucks. So I had to go pick up like whoever was left, so I could actually have a team, and still lost.
All right, so the other news that happened this week that we posted as well was the Miami Dolphins have decided to bench Ryan Fitzpatrick and start Tua for this week. We'll get into how we feel about it. We did have Melanie the Felony comment about it. She said, "I think it's great he's getting playing time, but don't think Fitzpatrick should have been benched." He is doing good for them lately. Tua needs to pay his dues. So I'll start off with you on how you feel about the benching of Fitzpatrick and Tua now getting the start.
Well, I can look at it as, he's doing really well. Like Fitzpatrick is doing really well. So why are they benching him? Fitzpatrick has this knack of, at the beginning of a season, he does okay. He doesn't do great. And then towards like the early mid-season, he blows up and he's like probably one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. And then he implodes. And he's done it on every team every year that he's actually been a starter. The problem is, like, when he implodes, he takes the entire team down with him. And I honestly think that he's reached his peak, and the coach knows this is Fitzpatrick's style. So he's going to pull him before he hits that implode and destroy the entire damn team. So I think it was a good move on the coaches, but at the same time, I don't think Tua was 100% ready. I mean, he looked good in his 2 passes that he had, but you can't base an entire game off of that. The bright side is he still has Fitzpatrick healthy. If first and second quarter he's not doing so hot, he's thrown an interception or two, he can't seem to get his reads, or he doesn't know how to get out of the pocket, because he's actually a fast dude. The coach always can go, okay, you're obviously not ready. Let's get you set down. Let's grab Fitz and throw him back in to finish off the game. So I think it's more of a test to see kind of where he's at, not so much a bash on Fitzpatrick.
Fair enough. Sorry about that. That's part of having a dog that bugs you about getting him in water. So, yeah, I agree with you that Fitzpatrick, he does that whole thing, where he starts off okay. The whole, like, Fitz magic thing, like, oh, magic. And he's, awesome. And then he has that game where he throws 4 picks, And so it's just like, he finally gets to that point at some point. But I feel like as a coach, I wouldn't be able to justify doing that until he actually does it, until I see the 4 picks. Then I can be like, all right, Tua, you're the future. Let's get you in there. I feel like you got to ride the Fitz magic until the magic wears off, like, in my opinion. And Tua can learn as much as he can all the way up until that point. Because like you said, I don't know how ready he is, but other quarterbacks make it hard for that to happen. Because Justin Herbert got thrown in there, and then all of a sudden everyone's like, oh, well, Justin Herbert, look at him blowing up the league right now. He's a rookie. So Tua, you need to step up to his level, do the same thing, get in there, So I feel like other quarterbacks kind of make it hard for justifying being able to keep someone on the bench and keep them getting ready and learning. I mean, look at Aaron Rodgers. He was behind Brett Favre for like 4 years, right?
He was 3, yeah.
So, I mean,
3 or 4 years, yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, there's nothing wrong with not playing, but everyone has this stigma of, oh, well, if they're a first-round pick quarterback, they have to go in at some point during the season, and I don't buy that. I don't.
If they're a first-round pick anywhere, like any position, they're expected to be a starter.
Yeah, true. But I mean, other positions are kind of easier to like have a learning curve. The quarterback position is like the hardest and the most like criticized position. Like it gets criticized the most. So
yeah.
So
yeah, because the team the wins and losses.
What's up?
But yeah, I was just going to feed off of that quarterback thing. Like the wins and losses are blamed on the quarterback. So if you have a rookie DB, and they give up a 70-yard touchdown, the game isn't their fault. Like if they lost a game. So, just example, had two of them for the Raiders, Damon Arnett and Amik Robertson. Like their first games in, they gave up 70-yard touchdowns, and they're cornerbacks. But the game wasn't blamed on them. It was blamed on Derek Carr.
Yeah.
So, yeah, quarterbacks are scrutinized more than any other position, even though all first-rounders are expected to be starters.
Exactly. Well, we appreciate everyone with their comments and everyone that has said something. We always appreciate the comments. We can always count on them wives, right?
Yep.
So let's get into the top 5, bottom 5 for this week. I think some things have kind of changed after this past week of playing games. I know mine has. Mine's gotten a lot different. So do you want to start off, or do you want me to start off?
You start off.
Ooh, okay.
I started last week. I did mine last week. I started last week.
Oh, okay. Okay, fair enough. Well, let's see. Let's start off with the bottom 5, because that's usually like the easiest to be able to do when it comes to that. So let's see. The 5th worst team. Man. I'm gonna go with maybe the Vikings, just because they just came off a loss with the Atlanta Falcons. That the Atlanta Falcons were down and out, and that should have been an easy win. They only have one win right now. They're 1-5. They're not looking so hot right now. So I'll go with the Minnesota Vikings. Then the 4th worst team, gonna go with the Cincinnati Bengals. They are 1-4 right now. They had a huge lead against the Colts. I think they were up like 21-0, and the Colts come back and beat them. Definitely, you gotta win those games. You can't go up 21-0 and then lose. The 3rd worst team, I'm gonna go with the New York Giants. They come off a win against the Washington football team, but then lose by 1 point against the Eagles again. Excuse me, after being up, by 11 points in that game. So that is no bueno. And then the fourth worst team, going with the Washington football team. I know everyone's going to be mad because the NFC East has 2 in the bottom 5, but deserved. The Washington football team again losing to the New York Giants, so that shows how bad of a team they are. And of course, as always, the worst team in the NFL. Drum roll, no surprise, the New York Jets. They are doo-doo. So no 0-6. If they get a win, I still don't know if I would move them up anymore. But with having zero wins, I still gotta go with the Jets on that. So we'll pause so that way people can kind of think about both of ours for that. So you do your bottom 5 now.
All right, so number 5. Mine's going to be a little bit different than yours because I'm looking at more than just records. I'm looking at like the points for, points against, kind of who they've played, that kind of stuff. So to me, number 5 would probably be the Giants. Should put Washington in front of them, but the Giants have actually scored less points. The only team that scored less points than the Giants, there's 2. Wow, the Broncos and the Jets. are the only two teams that have scored less points than the Giants. That's terrible. And the Broncos aren't even on the list. That's funny. But yeah, number 5, I'll throw the Giants. They've won one team, and they've won one game, and that was against the Washington football team, and they won by 1 point. Like, yeah, they've been in most of their games until they just give up in the fourth quarter. So for me, they're number 5. Number 4 is probably going to be the Washington football team. I know the Giants beat the Washington football team, but I think the Washington football team has more of an upside than the Giants do. They have the ability to win more games. What's funny about those two teams is even though they're 1-5, the Giants are now 1-6. They're both.
If you're saying that the Washington football team has more upside than the Giants, doesn't that mean the Washington football team should be number 5 and then the Giants should be number 4?
Oh yeah, backwards. Sorry. Yeah, I'm backwards. I'm backwards there. So yes. So yeah, number 5 is Washington. Number 4 is the Giants. Sorry. Yeah, I did it backwards. I'm dumb. It's early in the morning, man. Relax. For me, not for you. But no, what's funny about that is the Giants and the Washington football team are one game out of first place in their division.
So
that's horrible to look at. Hey, I'm 1-6, but on the bright side, we're one game out of first place. What? It's terrible. Terrible. So number 3 worst team. I'm gonna have to go with the Jaguars. The Jaguars have been just garbage. Like, I mean, they gutted their entire team in the offseason. Like, they lost most of their defense, and they're just not good. Gardner Minshew is not the future of that team. You know, they're just not good. Number 2 worst team. I'm gonna have to. This one's hard. We all know who number 1 is, but number 2, I think I'm gonna go with the Vikings. Like, they look good in one game. One game. Every other game, they've just looked like trash, which doesn't make sense because Adam Thielen is a beast. Justin Jefferson is like, dude's a candidate for Rookie of the Year. And then Dalvin Cook is a monster behind that O-line.
Yeah.
But they can't put it together. I don't think it's their offense that's holding them back as much as it is their defense. They've always been known as a very strong defense. The NFC North, period, has been known as strong defenses. You know, they got the Chicago Bears, the Packers. The Lions have always had a really strong defense. Lions' problem has been they don't know how to finish games. But the Vikings' defense has been a no-show this year.
Yeah.
So to me, until that defense shows up, they're one of the worst teams in the NFL. Like, they're right behind the Jets. Their defense needs to show up. But yeah, obviously the Jets are number 1 worst team in the NFL. They're terrible.
Terrible.
Pull the Barkley.
All right, so now we get to do our top 5 when it comes to the NFL, which is the fun part to be able to do. Let's see. So the 5th best team in the NFL. Oh man, this is a hard one because I know my top 3, but the ones after that, kind of difficult to pick out.
You want me to go first while you're doing yours, while you're thinking of yours? Because I've got mine. You want me to go first on this? Because
Well,
I've got mine.
I know my top 4. I'm just trying to figure out who I would want to put in that 5th spot. I'm gonna go with I'll go with the Tampa Bay Bucks is who I'm gonna go with when it comes to that. They come off a big win against the Packers. They're getting Antonio Brown. Their defense is like finally showing up, which is good. Their defense has been kind of stepping it up each week. So, and they got the offense is starting to click. Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Tampa Bay Bucks. The 4th best team in the NFL. I'm gonna go with the Kansas City Chiefs. They come off a dominant win. I think they played the Bills, didn't they?
Yeah, and let's talk about that really quick. The Bills had the ball in the second half for 6 minutes.
For 6 minutes, wow.
6 minutes in the entire second half. That's how dominant the Chiefs were.
Wow. Yeah. So the Chiefs kind of make a statement of, we're not going to lose another game, 2 games in a row type of thing. So they go out and they dominate the Bills. The Bills were kind of up there on my list until now, losing 2 straight. Their defense isn't stepping up as much anymore. Now, the top 3 is going to be interesting because, like I said, in my opinion, you have to put 5-0 teams up there. No matter how you feel about them, they haven't lost, so you have to put them up there. So the 3rd best team I'm gonna say is the Tennessee Titans. I'm gonna put the Tennessee Titans at number 3. They are dominating. They're running the ball with Derrick Henry really well, which is always supposed to be their game plan. Tannehill is proving, Miami, you screwed the pooch on me, like getting rid of me, basically. He basically showed them, hey, if you put me on a decent team, I can do something. Don't put me on a crappy Dolphins team. And they wanted to prove with the whole COVID thing and all of that. I think they're a team with a chip on their shoulder, which helps them play better. Chip on their shoulder. So definitely going with the Tennessee Titans. The 2nd best team in the NFL, I'm going to go with the Pittsburgh Steelers. They dominated your supposed division champs, Cleveland Browns.
That was bad.
Absolutely mauled them, which I called. I said that defense was going to make Baker, not look so hot. So I definitely called that one. Big Ben is not playing amazing. He's playing within his limits of his age and everything else, but the players around him are making the plays when he gets them the ball. Especially with that new rookie Claypool. As soon as he blew up, I tried to get him in fantasy, and I'm pretty sure another 10 years picked him up as well before I could. He's always on top of it with getting people really quickly. So yeah, I think they're the 2nd best team. And this pains my heart to say, but the number 1 team in the NFL right now is the Seattle Seahawks. Russell Wilson has kind of bumped his name ahead of the MVP race after Aaron Rodgers dropped that dud against the Tampa Bay Bucks. So yeah, I got to give it to the Seahawks right now. They're 5-0. One of the hardest divisions in the NFL, if you ask me right now, and they're still, 5-0. So definitely going to give it to them. I actually want to make a change to my number 5, if I could, instead of the Tampa Bay Bucks, because I just looked at it and I just realized I would rather put the Baltimore Ravens at 5. I think the Ravens at 5-1 They're still dominating. They're still doing their thing. Tampa Bay is close. They're kind of like a 5B, but I gotta put the Ravens at number 5 actually, just because the only loss that they have is against the Chiefs, and so that's why the Chiefs are above them. So yeah, just a little tweak there. After I saw that, I totally forgot about the Ravens. So.
All right. So my top 5. Number 5 is the Texans. Totally kidding. Totally kidding. I can't do that. So number 5, I'm actually kind of torn. Like you said, the Bucks, and I was like, the Bears beat them. You know.
That's true.
So I was leaning towards the Bears as number 5, and that get me kind of kicked in my house because my wife's a huge Packers fan. She hates the Bears with a passion, just like I hate the Broncos and you hate the Seahawks. It is what it is. It's that inner division rivalry.
Yep.
But I think I'm gonna have to go with you on number 5 and say the Ravens. They're a solid team. They're putting up points. You know, they're money. And then number 4, I'm with you on that. It's the Chiefs, and that one hurts. It's the Chiefs unless the Raiders beat the Bucks this week. If the Raiders beat the Bucks, they kind of have to be in the talk. Maybe not in the top 5, but definitely in the top 10. You know, just because the way they manhandled the Chiefs. You know that I mean, they're coming together. If their defense can keep playing, then they're all right.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I'm looking at like the points for, points against, and most of the teams there's a pretty good spread on points for, points against. The Raiders, points for, 151. Points against, 152. There's a 1 point difference between their points for and points against. They're the only team that's that close.
Man, gosh.
So just wanted to throw that out there.
Yeah.
Anyway, so number 4 is the Chiefs. Number 3, I'm actually going to go with the Seahawks at number 3.
Oh wow. Okay.
The Seahawks defense needs to step up. They really need to step up. The Titans they're playing better than the Seahawks. The Seahawks have barely snuck out a couple of their wins, where the Titans are just completely dominating everybody that they play. Like it's not even fun to watch the Titans play because they have the Incredible Hulk running the ball basically. The guy throws grown men 5 yards. Like it's insane. So to me, if the if the Seahawks defense can step up and give Russell Wilson that space that he needs, basically to like points wise to win a game, then it'll make it a little easier. Yeah, Russell Wilson is front runner for MVP, but that's because he's had to push his team to win. He's constantly had to like. I wouldn't say he's come from behind in every game, but you know he's had to show some magic to actually win his 5 games. It's not easy wins like the Titans are, you know.
Yeah.
So number 2, I'm going to go with the Titans. I think they're playing better than the Seahawks are. They're better than most of the teams in the NFL. And yeah, like I said, they have the Incredible Hulk running the ball. And number 1, the reason that this team went number 1 to me is because of their points against, because of their defense, and that's the Steelers. I thought the Steelers were pretenders at the beginning of the year, kind of like I thought, you know, the Titans were. Yeah. And now look at them. They're my number 1, number 2 teams. But the Steelers' defense is the only defense that's held their teams in 5 games under 100 points. Less than 20 points a game. They're the only team to do it. So because of how strong their defense is, that's why I have to put them at number 1. Like their offense is doing enough to win the games, but their defense is actually winning the games. And I mean, it's always been said defense wins championships. And if their defense keeps this up all year, they're front runners for the Super Bowl.
And then, maybe Big Ben can ride off into the sunset, because I think he just wants one more, and then he'll probably call it good, to be honest.
Yeah, I think he's got 2 already, right? He has 2, been to 3.
Yep, he has 2, and he's been to 3. He's only lost 1 Super Bowl
to Aaron Rodgers.
Yep, exactly. So, I mean, not too bad of a way to lose a Super Bowl against, someone like that. So,
yeah.
All right, man, that's awesome. Well, we're just plowing all through everything. I love it. Before we get into our picks of the week, I just wanted to mention, because we forgot to bring up with the NFL news one, that Des Bryant being on the practice squad of the Baltimore Ravens. Forgot to mention that. I don't know how much he really has to be able to offer, especially if they bump him up to the main roster. I feel like he just needs to call it quits. Like you said, he hasn't played in 2 years, right?
It's like 2 plus 3 years, something like that. But I don't know why they would sign him. Like, they have Hollywood Brown. They have freaking Will Fuller. I think Will Fuller's on their team still.
I think they have Snead is who they have.
Oh, yeah, Willie Snead. That's who it is. Not Fuller. Fuller's on the Texans, I think. I don't know. Those two I get confused. But, yeah, I mean, they have speed and consistency at the wide receiver position. I'm not sure why they go out and sign Des Bryant, who hasn't played in 2 to 3 years. Like, why are you signing that old guy?
Yeah, I'm not sure about why that move is happening, but yeah, just wanted to point that out because I forgot to mention that when we were talking about NFL news when it comes to that. So now one of our favorite segments, the NFL picks of the week. NFL picks of the week. Picks of the week. I always love doing that. It's my favorite part of this podcast. Let's go over the rankings for that for how we've been doing on our picks. So I am 75.5 and 24. You are 70.5 and 29. So you're behind by 5 games, my dude.
Yeah, this week was brutal, man. I think this week was brutal for both of us.
We what?
This week was brutal for both of us.
Yeah, it was. A couple of them were kind of surprising, and we didn't think would happen. Some of them, I called it. Even Melanie and the Felony, when the Steelers were beating on the Browns, she was just like, "You're gonna rub that in Chris's face, aren't you?" And I was like, "Yeah, pretty
much." A little bit.
So she even knew. She was just like, "Yeah, that you're gonna do that." But yeah, let's. And then you called the Giants game, which I feel like I was misinformed because I thought Alex Smith was gonna play, and then they put in freaking Ryan Allen. So I feel like I was kind of gypped on that one, but we'll see now. Now.
Kyle Allen, by the way.
I was misled. But anyways, all right, let's start with the first matchup, which is the 2-3 Lions versus the 1-5 Falcons. I like it because the screen isn't frozen, so I can actually see like what's going on. I like that, with the 3D, we need to have that feature, where people can just put 3D glasses on, and just like, whoa, the Lions are coming at me, whoa. All right, I'll start off with this week. I am going to go with the Lions on this one. I think their defense is good enough to stop the Falcons and Matthew Stafford be able to do some stuff. I know the Falcons came off of that win against the Vikings, but I feel like the Lions are better than the Vikings, so gonna go with the Lions on this one.
So Matt Ryan coming off a decent game. The interim coach kind of stepping up and like winning his first game.
Well, Julio came back too, which was a big help because Julio had got like over 150 yards and like 2 touchdowns or something like that.
Yeah, he tore it up. Problem is, there's a lot of animosity in the locker room, and they're talking about trading Julio Jones away.
Well, they were talking about trading Matt Ryan away. I mean,
Yeah. So you have the owner saying Matt Ryan's not the future of our franchise, and then he's talking about trading Julio Jones away, and it's like there's a lot going on there that I don't think they're gonna be as cohesive of a team. I think they're gonna continue to struggle this year, so I'm gonna go with the Lions on it.
we're going with the Lions. All right, I like it. Let's see here. So the next matchup, I was looking at the injury report because it's the 4-2 Browns versus the 1-4-1 Bengals. I was looking at the injury report because I know Baker Mayfield was having those injured ribs. Excuse me. So I was not sure if he was going to be playing in this game or not. I don't see him on the injury report. The Bengals, it has Joe Mixon out, and it has John Ross III as questionable. So the Bengals having some big names out. But you get to start on this one, so let's see which way you go with it.
But I think the Browns are going to take it. Like even though Mayfield might be a little hurt, I think that they have a strong enough team. They're going to bounce back off of that Steelers ass whooping. Like they got beat down. That was bad. It was like back in the inner city when you were getting jumped for your Jordans. That's how bad that was. Like, so yeah, I think they're going to bounce back, and I don't think the Bengals. I don't think the Bengals are going to be that strong this year. Like we thought they would be all right, but like they just haven't shown it. And to have Joe Mixon out, like that's going to hurt them even more. But their defense is a joke. Yeah, I think the Browns actually take this game.
All right, awesome. I'm gonna agree with you. I'm gonna go with the Browns. Like you said, the Bengals. They played against the Colts. They were up by 21 points, and then they end up losing. That says a lot about your team. I feel bad for Burrow, but it's just he's not going to be able to have a year like he did at LSU. That's what happens when you're the number 1 pick. You go to a team where you don't have that many weapons usually. So, yeah, I'm going to go with the Browns as well on this one, even just with their defense. They can bounce back and be able to get the win. The next matchup is the 5-0 Steelers versus the 5-0 Titans. So this is the battle of the undefeateds. This should be really, really good. And, this will determine a lot, especially with our top 5, when we do it. Do you go with a really good defense in the Steelers? Do you go with a really good run game with the Titans? The Titans' defense isn't too shabby either. They're good. They're decent. Gosh, I'm just so torn because it's almost like a 50-50 when it comes to this. I'm gonna go. I'll go with the Titans. I'll go with the Titans on this one. Let's see if the run game and Tannehill can do something against that Steelers defense. AJ Brown and everything that he brings to the table. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna go with. I'll go with the Titans.
All right, I'm gonna go against you on this one. I picked him number one for a reason, and I think Derrick Henry's still going to get his yards. I still think he's going to tear up, but I think it's going to be the Steelers' defense is going to dominate. They're not going to have a good passing game. Tannehill might get 200 yards. Like they're going to shut him down. They're not going to be able to shut down Derrick Henry. Like I said, nobody can shut down the Incredible Hulk. But yeah, it's the Steelers. They're going to take the game.
All right, fair enough. I like it. The next matchup is the 3-3 Panthers versus the 3-2 Saints. On this one.
Wow, this one's terrible. So the Saints always play good against their division rivals, and that the Panthers are in their division. Panthers, we thought they were looking good, and then they just fell apart last week. Like I have no idea what happened to them. They just didn't even show up to the game. Teddy Bridgewater throws like 2 or 3 picks. Didn't even throw for 250 yards. Like I mean, it was not a good game. They just did not show up. You know, I have to go. The Saints are really, really good in their division, so I have to go with the Saints on this one.
Alrighty. Yeah, I think I'm going to agree with you on this one. I'm going to go with the Saints because, Drew Brees and Kamara, the way they've been playing has been lights out. I'm pretty sure they finally get Michael Thomas back, right? I think they're back. So, I think Brees will make sure that he gets the ball a lot. So, yeah, I'm definitely going to go with the Saints in this one. The next matchup is the 4-2 Bills versus the 0-6 Jets.
Why are we even doing this one? Like Bills done.
Well, who goes first in this one, me or you?
It's me. Bills done.
Oh well, if you're not
actually no, this was you. This was you first. I'm sorry.
Well, that's what I figured. But it sounds like you weren't gonna do it anyway, so I'm gonna do it. I'm locking it up. The Bills, man.
Well, it's your pick first, so.
Lock it up.
Oh, lame. All right. Yep. I'm going with the Bills. It's like we don't even have to talk about it. It's not even
going first. I was like, how did he not lock that? Like that's an easy lock.
Because I knew it wasn't really my turn to go first. I was being nice.
Thank you. Appreciate it. All right. The next matchup is the 2-4 Cowboys versus the 1-5 Washington football team.
This would be really funny if Washington won, because then it would be like a 3-way tie for first place. That's so bad. That's so bad. This one's tough. There is actually rumors that the Cowboys are trying to trade for Sam Darnold, quarterback of the Jets.
Wow.
With Dak Prescott going down, talking about bringing him in because they don't think that Big Red can actually do it, so they're bringing in another Big Red. Makes a lot of sense. I'm going to go with the Cowboys on this one.
All right. Cowboys, man, coming off of a tough loss. Zeke had like 2 fumbles. I think they had like a couple of interceptions, like not looking good at all, just absolute garbage. So it's hard for me to pick the Cowboys because of that hard loss that they took, but the Washington football team is so bad. I think the Cowboys will bounce back. The Cowboys have always had the Washington football team's number, so I'm gonna go with the Cowboys as well. Right in your face. Okay, next matchup is the 4-1 Packers versus the 1-5 Texans.
You
So
go first.
this one,
Yep.
you know, I know who you're gonna pick because you're gonna go with the Texans because you're the kiss of death for them. But I'm gonna go with the Packers. I know they had that hard loss against the Bucks, and Aaron Rodgers kind of dropped down in MVP, but I can't see the Packers having two bad games in a row, and plus the Texans.
All right. So I'm gonna lock this one
Oh,
as the Packers.
go with the Packers. You went against your Texans. How dare you?
Yeah, I go against them and they actually win. So, but I don't think they're gonna win this one. I don't think they have enough to stop the Packers offense. I really don't.
I thought you were gonna put it in as your up.
No, that's gross.
Um. All right. So the next matchup is the 4-2 Buccaneers versus the 3-2 Raiders. It was scheduled for the Sunday night game, but I think the Raiders had some COVID-19 people come up, so they moved it up, and so now it's at 4:05 Eastern time. So it's no longer the Sunday night football game. So yeah, you get to start with this one.
So it's my team, but it's also the battle of John Gruden's teams.
Oh, that's
So
yeah.
yeah. So honestly, I'm going to throw this as my upset and say the Raiders are going to take it because they're going to be playing at home, and Tampa is 1-2 on the road. They're not so good on the road. They're undefeated at home, but they're 1-2 on the road. So yeah, it's going to be the Raiders.
Right, I like it. I kind of was thinking about when I was looking at the matchup of Raiders as an upset as well. For that, but then I saw a different matchup before. Um, yeah. Well, the Bucks coming off that big win against the Packers. Everyone kind of thought the Packers were gonna roll on them and keep going with what they were doing. Um, the Raiders looking good against the Chiefs. Um, I'm gonna go against you. I'm gonna go with the Bucks, especially since they came off that big win.
Put the flag upside down.
Like I said, I think they'll be able to go in and get a win. It's gonna be close. It's gonna be a tough matchup, but I think they'll be able to get it done. All right, next matchup is the 5-1 Chiefs versus the 2-3 Broncos. Broncos coming off a win against the Patriots. That's one that me and you both got wrong with our picks last week. Very surprised, very shocked, especially playing against a Patriots team that like in third place in the division. I can't remember the last time the Patriots were in third place in their division. But let's see. No, you went first last time, so I get to start this time. No brainer, going with the Chiefs. They're one of my top 5 picks, so I definitely got to go with them. Like you said, the Broncos are not that good. I don't know how they pulled off that win against the Patriots. I think it was just Cam Newton coming off not playing for so long, but yeah, definitely Chiefs.
So the Broncos didn't just beat the Patriots; they dominated the Patriots. Like it wasn't a huge score, but the time of possession was ridiculous. I think it was like 36 to 24 minutes. Like it was insane how much the Broncos held the ball and how well they actually shut down the Patriots. They did great. And I hate saying that. That made me puke in my mouth because I hate the Broncos more than any other team. But I did say I will never pick the Broncos. So, yeah, Chiefs.
Never picking the Broncos.
Even though the Chiefs are in my division as well, but that's a surefire right there. Like the Chiefs playing the Broncos, that's terrible.
All right, the next matchup, talking about Patriots coming off that loss, is the 3-49ers versus the 2-3 Patriots. This one is an interesting matchup. The 49ers coming off a big win against the Rams. Um, I think the Rams could have easily won that game. We just had a bunch of miscues, dropped balls, a lot of penalties, shot us away. But yeah,
Gonna steal my pick, huh? Yeah. I was like, you gonna steal my pick here? I think 49ers are coming off a big win, but it's a division win. Division wins are always tough. Like they're always close fought games. It doesn't matter if it's an 0-6 Jets team versus a 4-2 Bills team. Like it's going to be a close game. They're not blowouts, because they're divisions. They see each other twice a year. The Patriots coming off a really tough loss against a really crappy Broncos team. They should have won that game. There's no excuse that they lost that game. But that being said, I'm going to have to go with the 49ers on this one because they're kind of starting to show some promise and some highlights of what they did last year. They're still not the same team, but I think they're better than the Patriots are.
Alrighty, fair enough. I'm going to go against you and actually go with the Patriots. I don't think Bill Belichick loses 2 games in a row. It's just not in his DNA, not in his blood. And I'm sure they're going to make sure that Cam Newton is more prepared this time and ready to do what he needs to do to win the game. So, yeah, I'm going to go with the Patriots on this one. Don't think that the 49ers defense will be able to. 1-5 Jaguars. Well,
That's upside down.
So I get to start off first with this one. I'm actually gonna go. I'm gonna go with the Chargers. I think Herbert looks good. I think he's gonna shred up that Jaguars crappy defense. They're just gonna play really well. I don't think the Jaguars have anything on offense or defense. The Chargers at least have something going for them on offense with Herbert. So
I'm going to agree with you on this. I'm going to go with the Chargers as well. I think Herbert finally gets his first win as a starter. Honestly, because their offense has looked great. Because of him, they've been in every game that they've played. They've just had really nail biting losses. They're actually a good team, and I hate saying that because they're in my division, but I'm okay with them being on the bottom of the division right now. But I think they actually get this win against the Jaguars.
Alrighty, cool. All right, now the new Sunday night game, since the Raiders got pushed out of it, is the 5-0 Seahawks versus the 4-2 Cardinals. You get to start off with this one.
I think this is going to be the matchup because it's in the division that's actually going to decide the division. And I think this is the one where Kyler Murray steps up and gets the win.
All right, I like it. Based on record, I'm going to agree with you, and I'm going to pick in my upset pick. I'm going to go with the Cardinals. I think that the Cardinals' offense with Murray running the ball and DeAndre Hopkins, they're going to put it on the Seahawks. I think the Seahawks defense will get exposed with how good the Cardinals' offense is. Russell Wilson will keep him in it. I think it'll be a close game because, Russell Wilson is MVP runner right now. So I think he'll keep them in it. But the Cardinals will come out with the W in my upset pick. Once I saw that further down, I was like, yeah, I'm going to go with that as an upset. So which one was your upset? I can't remember now. You picked
Raiders.
The Raiders, that's right.
Raiders over Tampa.
Alrighty, so the Monday Night Football game, there's only one Monday Night Football game now. Yep, the LA Rams versus the Chicago Bears. The Bears at 5-1, the Rams at 4-2. The Bears have always kind of had the Rams number in the past with their defense. They've always been able to slow down the Rams offense. Let's see, I think you went first with the Cardinals, so I get to go first this time. The Rams coming off that hard loss against the 49ers. I don't think Sean McVay has ever had back-to-back losses. I can't remember, but I'm pretty sure he's been pretty good at not losing back-to-back games. I'm pretty sure. The Bears have been a surprise. I don't know how they're getting these wins, but I think the Rams are mad that they lost against the 49ers. They should have won that game. Like I said, they just had mental mistakes. Aaron Donald was told in an interview that he's never sacked Nick Foles, and so he said in the interview, he said, "Thank you for the motivation." So Aaron Donald is ready to wreck the Bears. So I'm gonna go with my Rams. I can't go against them. So picking the Rams.
So what was weird about that Rams game is they were talking about the Rams 49ers game. They were talking about how dominant Aaron Donald has been and how strong he is. The 49ers shut him down. Like I don't think he got a sack, but he had like 3 pressures on Garoppolo. That's it in the entire game. That's unheard of for Aaron Donald.
Yeah.
And I think the Bears are going to watch that tape and figure out how the hell they stopped Aaron Donald. But I don't think the Bears have the offensive line that the Niners do. Because, yeah, I mean, Mike McGlinchey, Trent Williams, like, they're a strong team. And Aaron Donald did struggle. But I don't think he's going to struggle against the Bears. And I'm saying he's probably going to get 3 or 4 sacks against Foles. He's going to tear him apart. He's going to make Nick Foles want to go retire and go be a preacher again. So the Rams are going to take this game.
All right, awesome. I love it. I always like when the Rams get picked. And then the Thursday night game coming up would be the 1-5 Falcons versus the 3-3 Panthers. I picked the Monday night first, so you get to start off with this one.
What is it with Thursday night games this year? Like there's seriously been like one good Thursday night game.
Yeah.
And I think that wasn't that when did the Bucks and Packers play? No. When did the Packers and Bucks play? Was that Monday?
No, they played on Sunday.
Okay.
No,
yeah, I can't remember.
The Chiefs were supposed to play Thursday, but then with the Bills playing on Tuesday, they had to push it back, and so they didn't have a Thursday night game that week.
That's right.
I think that's been the only good matchup that they've had so far.
Yeah, this is not biting well for Thursday night football to continue. Like, I love having Thursday night. Put some damn winning teams on there. Like, this is stupid. But for this game, I'm going to go with the Panthers. It is an interdivision rivalry, but I think the Panthers are stronger than the Falcons. Choke City.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with you. I'm gonna go with the Panthers on this one. Can't bet too many times on Choke City. Not a good money thing if you're putting money on it. So yeah, can't go with them very often when it comes to that. Alrighty, awesome. Well, we got our picks of the week done. We talked about the World Series when it comes to that. The only thing I would want to cover before we wrap things up maybe is just a little bit with football. College football. Sorry, college football. Just because the Big Ten and well, the Pac-12 isn't starting yet, but the Big Ten is finally playing their games. They're all starting. The big one to keep the eye on is number 5, Ohio State versus Nebraska. If Ohio State comes out and like annihilates Nebraska, I honestly could see Ohio State just jumping up to the 4 spot already. Even with having one game under their belt, I could see them jumping up and being in the playoffs already. So I think everyone wanted Ohio State to be in the playoffs, but with them not playing any games yet, they haven't been able to. So I'm trying to look. Oh, and then the other one for Big Ten, number 18 Michigan versus number 21 Minnesota. Michigan, ironically enough, with Harbaugh, this is the first quarterback that he has recruited from high school since he's been coaching at Michigan, which is hard to believe. I can't believe that. But this is the first quarterback that he has personally picked from high school that is starting. So I don't know like how well that's going to go for Michigan. I know Michigan to be, in the playoffs. They always want Michigan to beat Ohio State. That's why they brought Harbaugh in, but Harbaugh hasn't been able to get it done. Do you feel if Harbaugh doesn't have a good year, it's going to kind of be it for him in coaching in college?
Yeah, I think this is going to be his make it or break it year.
Yeah, I think that'll be a big test for them, especially two ranked teams going against each other at 18 and 21. So, yeah. So, just wanted to bring up a little bit of college football for that. The big thing last weekend was the Alabama versus Georgia game. Because it was number 3 versus number 2. Alabama stomps them 41-24. So Alabama absolutely crushing them, basically setting up where most likely it could be Clemson versus Alabama in the national championship game. But Georgia, because of that loss, drops down to number 4, and then 3.
Sorry, guys.
Don't die on me.
Water went down the wrong pipe.
I feel like Notre Dame is kind of like a pretender. I think they kind of just have them in there just because of COVID and not being able to have other teams ranked in there. So potentially I could see Notre Dame getting kicked out and then Ohio State, being put up there. And then Georgia dropped down from number 2 to number 4 because of the loss. So, ironically enough, I did tell Melanie the Felony when I was watching that game. I said I wouldn't be surprised if Georgia was still in it, even after losing to Alabama. So they're such a big name school that one loss didn't really affect their chances of getting in, of being out of the playoffs as of right now. So
yeah, perks of being in the SEC, right?
Yeah, exactly. If you're in the top echelon of college football teams, then it helps. If you're in Alabama, if you're in Georgia, Ohio State, any of those teams, like you're gonna get more leeway than some of the other teams. All right, cool, man. I'm gonna be going and hanging out with one of my friends at B Dubs to watch the UFC pay-per-view here in a little bit. It's going to be Khabib versus Justin Gaethje, which will be cool because Khabib has never lost. Gaethje is the interim champ. So we'll see who the undisputed champion will be. They're fighting in Dubai, so that means an early fights. It'll be at 2:00 Eastern time. Which I kind of like because then I don't have to stay up super late just to watch the fights. So that's what I'll be doing. Do you have anything fun planned for today or for tomorrow?
I have bowling today. I have another bowling league, and then I was thinking about going over to my buddy's house to watch the fights after the bowling. So, not sure.
Alrighty. Well, sounds good then. Well, we appreciate everyone listening as always. We appreciate the comments. Keep them coming. Keep posting them. You can always listen to us. Oh, go ahead.
Earl Thomas still not signed.
Boom, mic drop. Always. I always forget that. I'm glad that I have you to remind me about that. But yeah, Earl Thomas still not signed yet. But listen to us on Anchor, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all the major places. Catch us out on Facebook, Sports Harder Podcast. Catch us out on Instagram, Sports_Harder_podcast. Check us out on Twitter at Sports Harder P, capital S, capital P. Check us out. At all those places. YouTube, check out our YouTube channel. We're having fun with doing that and putting that together. I think we had like 15 views for the last episode. So, subscribe to it, hit that subscribe button. That way you'll know when a new video comes out each week. I almost forgot to mention the YouTube thing. I'm so used to mentioning everything else. We're getting closer and closer to our 100th episode. Can you believe that? Almost to 100. I never thought when I first started doing this podcast that it would continue this far and this long. So it's been a lot of fun. I have my brother-in-law working on our new logo. So new logo to come out soon. We'll be posting that on all of our social media stuff. Anything else that you want to add before we wrap it up?
No, just keep with the support, guys. We love it. We'll keep doing this for you guys. So
Awesome, cool. Well, until next week, we will catch you guys on the flip side.
later.
Peace.